Title reads really clicked with a great girl and went out on a date, but she didn't feel the same way. Well, look, use that as a positive experience. So you went out on a date with a girl. Most guys don't have the confidence to do that. At least she was honest with you that she didn't feel the same way. Move on and date someone else. So, positive experience in my mind. Let's see what this guy has to say. I'm 26, I matched with a girl on Hinge and we really hit it off. We had the same sense of humour, interest, and we were just on the same wavelength, which is pretty rare for me to find. Well, you don't know all of that after just messaging a girl a couple of times on Hinge. Like, you find out if you really do click with a girl and if the girl's right for you after a few months, maybe even years. Like, you don't know if this girl's so special just because you messaged her a few times on Hinge. So you're kind of like jumping the boat here. But he says having a partner who has similar interests is a huge plus for me. What? She likes scrolling on her phone, she likes pizza, like what's the big deal? We talked on the app and then over text for the next 2 weeks before we decide to go out on a first date. That's way too long. Like, if you're hitting it off with a girl, you find her attractive, try and get her off these apps and texts as soon as possible and go out on a date. I used to send maybe 5 to 10 messages and then get out on a date because you got to remember on these apps, she probably has 100 plus matches and she's probably talking to like a dozen guys on the same day. So you've got to get off these apps as soon as possible, get her off the apps as soon as possible, and actually meet her in person so she can actually see you and form that physical attraction that you just can't build over messaging. Because again, if she's talking to like 10 other guys who are only messaging her, be that one or two guys who actually takes her out on a date because she's going to remember you two more than these guys who just have no idea what they're doing and are just sending cat memes all the time. At this point, I was definitely already falling for her. Oh my god, this guy's an idiot. Obviously, doesn't have a lot of experience and probably is quite young. I think he said he's 28, so I'm hoping he would have learnt this by now. But yeah, falling for a girl over messaging kind of shows to me that you are quite inexperienced and you're, yeah, painting this girl in a certain way, even though you haven't even met her yet. And we already had two separate shared notes of shows, movies to watch together, and date ideas. So they're already planning, or he's planning future dates even before even meeting her in person. It's not a good idea, is it? Like, she's probably getting the ick from that. Like, oh yeah, we'll go on these dates and we'll watch all these movies. When deep down, she's thinking this guy's an absolute weirdo. A little more about me. I'm always consider myself to be a hopeless romantic and recognise I'm falling hard and getting ahead of myself. Yep, that's for sure. I mentioned that I tend to do this when dating to her, and she said she does the same thing, that she's really liked what's been going on so far between us, which made me feel a lot better about things. So basically, you're acting like a girl, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I act the same way." Okay, to her, it might make her feel a little bit comfortable knowing how feminine you are, but in the long term, she's gonna be like, "Oh, this guy's an absolute wet wipe, and I need a masculine man around who doesn't act like me, who doesn't act like a woman." But yeah, he's basically saying, I act like a woman. You can take full control of me, and I'll do whatever you want, Your Highness. That's not going to end well, is it? Flash forward to last Friday, I decided to take her to a really fancy vegetarian spot in the city. I'm not vegetarian, but she is. And I wanted to show her that I didn't mind. So he's finally took her out on a date and he's took her to dinner, which is not a good idea because you don't even know the girl. By the first course, you might both decide this isn't going to work. Now you've got two more courses to come, and it's not very romantic, is it? You got all food in your teeth, and you're trying to talk but also eat. It's just not the right vibe. Keep it fun, keep it casual, and especially don't take it to a fancy place as well. Like, you're spending a lot of money on a girl you don't even know yet. You don't even know if you like her. So keep it cheap, keep it casual, keep it fun, and obviously, it's not going to be fun for you because you're going to a vegetarian spot, even though you're not vegetarian. And that's all just to make her happy. When really you should be thinking, hey, what do I want to do? And bring her along for the ride. If you like to go to a bar and enjoy a nice old fashioned next to a fireplace, bring her along for the ride. Bring her into your life instead of trying to change your life to fit hers. Looking back, it might have been a bit overboard for a first date. We met and hugged, and she was clearly a bit shy in person, but after chatting and some jokes, she opened up a lot more. The actual date itself went great. We talked for 3 hours, enjoyed some great food, and even when we paused, we just looked at each other and smile. Well, were you sitting next to her? Did you go for the kiss, or are you just gonna weirdly smile at each other with broccoli in your teeth? But yeah, after 3 hours, if it's going well, go to the next venue or try and go for the kiss. Like, I'm worried he's gonna say, "Oh, we were talking for 3 hours and we talked for another 3 hours." Like, you're gonna bore her. You're gonna become her like pen pal. You're gonna become her gay best friend. Like, you gotta try and progress this. And if you're just talking and eating your veggie burrito, it's hardly romantic. We discussed possibly going out that Sunday and was really excited. Well, you were really excited. She's probably lying about her excitement. She probably is thinking this guy's already planning a second date, even though we're still on the first date. Seems like this guy's just like getting really excited and nervous about, oh, I got to plan the next date because I might not see this girl again. I got to make sure she knows that we have plans and to make sure she doesn't have plans with someone else. It's all just too much. After we left, I waited for her Uber to come and I hugged her goodbye and we said we'd text each other when we got home. I'm sure you said to her, we'll text each other. She didn't say that to you. And what you went for the hug? Bro, you just took her to a fancy vegetarian restaurant. You probably paid for her Uber. You acted like a gentleman. Go for the kiss, bro. Grow some balls. And if you go for the kiss, then you can quickly find out if the girl's into you or not. Because if she gives you the cheek or a hug, then she's probably not that into you. And you should be wasting your time on her. After I texted her, so again, he texted her first, of course he did. He said, I had such an amazing time and asked if I'm lucky enough to go on a second date with her. Really, bro? Why are you saying, oh, am I lucky enough, Your Highness, to go on a date with you? It just sounds like you're just putting her up on such a pedestal. And it's like you're like a Wish Foundation kid. Like, this is your wish before you die to go on a date with her. So cringe. She said she had a really good time and that she genuinely liked me as a person, but she didn't feel a romantic connection. Shock. Because you went for the hug and you were acting like a feminine woman and you took her to a vegetarian restaurant even though you're not vegetarian. Just some of the points why she probably wasn't attracted to you. In fact, she's bad at saying these things in the moment. She apologised. Yeah, I said this before. Women will lie, which is a defense mechanism, which is completely fine because she doesn't know how the guy's going to react. Like, she doesn't even know you. And if she's honest and says, "Hey, I'm actually not feeling it," all she knows is you might flip out and attack her or call her names, etc. So of course she's gonna lie. Oh yeah, I'll text you. Thanks. Had such a great time. I bet she didn't even split the meal either. She got a free meal out of it. Smart girl. It was really heartbreaking to hear, but I understood and wished her all the best. This is where it should end. Okay, wish you all the best. Move on. Hopefully, didn't continue messaging her and calling her. I bet you did. I was devastated and cried it out. Oh my god, this guy's such a wet wipe. Which kind of shows how invested I am with this. It wasn't a long term relationship or anything like that. Yeah, you weren't in a relationship, you were just hinge buddies. She probably went out on a date the next day and forgot about you straight away. Final paragraph. I've been reflecting a lot on everything. I even started going back to counselling to talk about this and work on my attachment style. At least he realised he has an issue. I don't think counselling will help because it's probably a female counsellor who is going to try and feminise you even more than you already are. Probably a waste of money in my eyes, but hey, at least he realised he has an issue. He has an attachment issue, probably because he was so attached to his mum and no male figure in his life. But I think the only way for this guy to move on is to go out on more dates and hit the gym and spend time with some actual masculine men because he's a bit feminized at the moment. I've had to feel thought of reaching back out to her. Please don't, bro. That's the worst thing you can do. And seeing if we could be friends, bro. But you wouldn't want to be friends. That'd be lying to you and lying to her, and she knows you're lying about it as well. That's the worst thing you can do for her and yourself. Is you'll be lying to yourself because really you want to get into bed with her. Let's be honest. You don't want to be just her friend. Don't be that guy who just is like a male orbiter orbiting around this girl that you really like, waiting for your moment. I think I was in love with the idea of falling in love. It's the most correct thing he said so far. Good job, bro. with this girl, and she was really perfect. I'm really sad she won't be part of my life, and that's just how he ends it. You can't fall in love with a girl you've met once, but I agree. You probably fell in love with the idea of her possibly being your girlfriend, possibly having wedding bells and the white dress, and you just pictured your life with her in the next 10, 20 years. But she's just a hinge girl, bro. Like, there's going to be a ton of them that you're going to interact with. She's probably interacting with a ton of other guys. Hey, it's just modern dating, man. And I think you need to work on yourself a lot before you even get serious with someone, because you can have much more heartbreak. Because I don't think this guy actually understands how attraction works, and how what he's doing is causing these women to do a runner in his life. Anyway, that's all, guys. Cheers. See ya.